because it looked like Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over. It looked like she took the city over.
People are showing up just to witness Caitlin Clark. It's like she's the damn Beatles.
Angel, pray up. Me, Reese, I hope you listening. It looks like that line was for my precious CC. How she pulled up in your...
Remember that cringe-worthy Reebok campaign where Angel Reese tried to flex with her whole "come to your trap, take over your trap" slogan during All-Star weekend in Indy? Yeah, well, congratulations are in order. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just come to the trap. She stomped in, took over, flipped the lights on, and ran the place like she owned it. All while Angel Reese was mysteriously absent from the spotlight, nursing yet another conveniently timed injury. It's almost too ironic. Clark came into Reese's territory and made it her own stage, all while the so-called hometown star vanished when it mattered most.
Caitlin Clark spent 20 minutes signing autographs. She made her way 2/3 of the arena. She signed literally hundreds of autographs. She signed hundreds of autographs. And if you guys didn't see that game today, there were as many Fever fans as there were Sky fans.
It felt so cinematic, you'd think the whole thing was scripted by a screenwriter trying to humiliate Reese. There was Clark in Chicago, causing a full-blown fan frenzy outside the United Center, like a rock star rolling into town, while Reese was nowhere to be found, allegedly out with a back injury that no one's actually buying. Meanwhile, Caitlin was out there signing over 200 autographs, smiling with kids, taking pictures with families, and basically turning the sidewalk into a Fever fan convention. Reese? She was too busy dropping cryptic social media posts, trying to control the narrative while her moment slipped away.
Now, see, this the real version of walking your trap and take over your trap. Look at this. Look at that.
Oh my God.
All them jerseys. I would hate Caitlin too. And I wasn't even aware. Wasn't this supposed to be Barbie night or something? Come on, Caitlin walked in and took over, and she didn't even play.
The so-called trap she claimed was hers got straight up hijacked, and not by force, but by talent, grace, and real star power. If you're watching all this unfold and finally seeing the clear difference between manufactured hype and actual greatness, go ahead and hit that like button and comment, "I've got the fever," because what happened next only widened the gap between Clark and Reese. Let's go.
So Caitlin Clark is not playing the game. And like, by the way, like, people didn't know whether or not Caitlin was playing that game until the very end. There are hundreds of fans that were there to see Caitlin Clark play on the off chance Caitlin Clark would be able to sign something. She was there. She spent like 20 minutes autographing everything.
What happened to Miss Angel Reese? She's all in Indiana during All-Star, and her Reebok campaign, "Come to your trap, take over your trap."
The contrast between the two couldn't be more humiliating for Reese if someone had storyboarded the entire day to showcase her irrelevance. On one side, Caitlin Clark, injured mind you, is out there giving fans everything they came for and more. On the other side, Angel Reese, supposedly the face of Chicago, is literally a ghost during the most anticipated weekend of the season in her own city. This is what happens when a player tries to ride the wave of someone else's fame without doing the work to build their own foundation. Eventually, the truth peels back the filters and exposes who's built to last and who's just cosplaying as a superstar.
I think this is what means when you walk into your trap and take over. She in your city. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot about that tweet. I forgot about the tweet. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. I just realized that. I'm like, oh my God, there's no way they came out with that.
And here's the part that really cements the difference. Caitlin Clark didn't even play. She didn't need to. Her impact is so massive that just her presence causes chaos, in the best way. Meanwhile, her Fever teammates decided to make their own statement on the court.
Money Mitch put him in a ditch, and Michaela Timpson treating the Chicago Sky like a bunch of Simpsons. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Might be scorching hot right now. You have been so good on the road lately. 6 straight games, 24 points a game. How are you off to another hot start in a hostile environment?
I think about just staying in rhythm. And when I stay in rhythm, about being aggressive. So as long as I'm aggressive and being myself, they make it easier for me.
Kelsey Mitchell, in particular, showed up like she had a point to prove, and zero patience for nonsense. From the opening minutes, Mitchell lit up the floor with confidence and purpose, drilling three-pointers from every zip code in the Windy City and finishing the night with a scorching 35-point masterclass that included 7 buckets from deep.
Kelsey Mitchell, 7 for 10 from the three-point line, off the start, 8 points quick. You knew, oh, Kelsey Mitchell's hot today. Oh, Kelsey Mitchell's hot today. This might be her game. Let's keep the hot hand in. Let's keep the hot hand going. Let's set her some big body screens, get her open. Kelsey Mitchell, she did it all. 7 for 10 from the three-point line. She got to the rack. She got to the free throw line, carving up the defense, looking like a little snake, how she just slithers in and out of that defense. Kelsey Mitchell, salute to you.
This wasn't just good basketball. This was a public service announcement. Mitchell turned enemy territory into her personal gym, making it very clear that the Indiana Fever aren't just Clark and friends. They're a real squad. And what made it even more satisfying was the fact that they did it all without Caitlin running the offense. This win proved something vital. Indiana has more than one weapon. With Clark on the sideline, Mitchell picked up the torch and carried the entire franchise like a player who knows exactly what's at stake. She didn't blink. She didn't hesitate. She dropped a gem of a performance that said, loud and clear, "Don't sleep on us just because Clark's in street clothes."
She lit them up. I mean, she was on fire. On fire. She couldn't miss. I mean, everything was in the flow of the offense. Effortless, man. We got to give love to Kelsey Mitchell. 12 of 19 from the floor, 7 of 10 from 3, 35 points. Straight stirring the pot. Stirring the pot. She was cooking their ass today. Kelsey Mitchell was on one. She was on one. She was a plus 25 for the game. The Chicago Sky are a flat-out joke. This team is terrible.
Aaliyah Boston didn't just show up. She dominated. Her 14 points and 11 rebounds weren't flashy. They were decisive. She owned the paint from the opening whistle, turning Chicago's interior into a disaster zone. Their bigs couldn't cope with her footwork, her physicality, or her basketball IQ. Every possession she was involved in looked like a tutorial on how to make elite players look ordinary.
Cardoso running the floor, gets denied by Boston, returning the favor. Boston finds the cutter. It's Timpson who lays it in. That ends the 11-0 run. Here's Mitchell. Slips it in, wide open Boston, and tracks it back down. Off to Boston. Backdoor, Mitchell the cut, and the finish. Tough bucket from Kelsey Mitchell. Get Kelsey Mitchell.
And while Boston was dismantling Chicago's front court, Aari McDonald delivered off the bench yet again, dropping 10 timely points and playing like she was born for these big moments. Remember, McDonald wasn't even part of the original blueprint this season, but now she's writing chapters in Indiana's success story. But what really stood out in this win wasn't just the box score, it was the sheer control. Indiana didn't fluke their way into a win. They owned the tempo, dictated the flow, and crushed any glimpse of momentum the Sky tried to build. Every time Chicago flirted with a comeback, Indiana slammed the door in their face. They didn't just win, they sent a message. A professional, calculated, and ruthless performance from start to finish.
Here's Mitchell, who has 15 in the quarter and a season-high 6 made threes. Hull will fire and hit at the horn. Big finish to the third from Indiana.
That final score, 93-78, flatters Chicago. If we're being honest, it felt more like a 30-point beatdown. The Fever dominated in every meaningful metric: shooting efficiency, rebounding, assists, defense, energy, you name it. And here's the kicker: they did it all without their franchise player on the floor. That's what real contenders do. They don't make excuses. They adapt, step up, and wipe the floor with inferior opponents no matter who's missing. And speaking of inferior, let's talk about Chicago. This was supposed to be their bounce-back game. They were at home, their season was on the brink, and they had every reason to bring intensity. Instead, they wilted. They looked totally overwhelmed by Indiana's execution and aggression. The Fever shot nearly 50% from deep, while the Sky clanked away at a miserable 31%. That kind of gap isn't just numbers, it's culture, it's preparation, It's mindset.
Let's go. Let's go. Yep. Gotta be able to sit. The really good thing about having quality depth is when you don't have it, somebody else does. And KK? Yeah! Way to step up. Chloe, great job coming in. Great job. Lex, way to come in and make an impact. Kels, just downtown, Kels. Downtown.
Indiana's bench was another storyline that deserves applause. Michaela Timpson and Lexi Hull gave crucial minutes that kept the engine running. These aren't just warm bodies filling gaps. These are players who keep the standard high while giving starters room to breathe. And that's key during this playoff push. You can't run stars into the ground. The Fever's ability to rotate and maintain intensity is what makes them dangerous. Their 17 forced turnovers were a masterclass in defensive disruption. The Sky were constantly uncomfortable, constantly scrambling, and constantly behind.
Indiana run after Chicago had cut it to 2. Poked away by Timpson. There's the deflection. Off to the races. Timpson finishes strong, forcing a timeout from Chicago. A 9-0 Indiana run, and the lead is back to 11.
Michaela Timpson, the rookie, all season long, when she's gotten minutes here and there, has made the most of them. We've seen it on the offensive end. Then here, just getting her arms in the passing lane, the deflection, finishing a tough look.
This isn't just about one bad game for Chicago either. This was their 5th straight loss. Injuries, rotations, coaching chaos, it's all crumbling. What was supposed to be a playoff caliber roster is now clinging to relevance. They aren't just losing games, they're losing belief. Their body language is off. Their execution is a mess. And their coach? Looks like they're watching a slow-motion implosion they can't stop. The front office has to decide. Blow it up or pretend a miracle's coming. Because at this rate, they'll be lucky to finish above teams that aren't even trying to make a deep run. Meanwhile, Indiana looks like they've cracked the code. Stability, structure, strategy. The Fever are building something real, while Chicago is patching holes on a sinking ship. This game wasn't just a win for Indiana. It was a clinic, a power move, a glimpse at what championship-level culture looks like. For Chicago, it's a mirror showing every flaw, every crack, every excuse. They didn't just lose, they were exposed.
500 points, becoming fastest Fever player ever to do so in a season. 930-point game, second most in Fever history. And season high. KK career high in points. AB 11 double-double of the season.
And when you dig deeper into the stats, it gets uglier. Chicago got out-rebounded 42-35. That's not about size, it's about effort. Indiana didn't tower over them. They wanted it more. They boxed out, attacked the glass, and won the hustle plays. The Fever also dished out 24 assists on 34 made shots, moving the ball with precision and purpose. Chicago, just 16 assists. Translation, stagnant offense and forced shots. Let's not ignore the turnover differential either. Chicago was sloppy, rushed, and indecisive. Indiana was disciplined, poised, and sharp. Those stats don't lie. They tell the story of a team that's prepared, locked in, and thriving, versus one that's winging it and hoping for luck.
I'm beginning to suspect the Indiana Fever are a better team than the Chicago Sky. Don't ask me why I believe that or think that. It's just a sneaking suspicion that I have. I mean, it could be the fact that the Fever spank them every time they play. Could be that. Maybe it's that. I mean, you know, you can date back to last year, but this year, the Fever spanked the Sky in the season opener.
Indiana's defensive communication was next level. They rotated with purpose. They helped at the right times. Chicago often looked lost. And what makes this even more impressive is Indiana did it with smaller lineups for long stretches. This wasn't about overpowering, it was about outworking.
Caitlin Clark took over Chicago. She signed autographs for hours. This wasn't no extras that was paid to come stand in the scene. No, these were real people trying to get autographs.
She understands the responsibility of being the face of the league. And I don't necessarily know if she wants it, but she understands it.
Who the biggest superstar? I'm waiting.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I don't know how you could ever imagine, like, how can you compete with this? How, what, like, come on, just leave it alone, Angel. And this is why I'm saying you be making yourself look crazy, because in all actuality, there's no comparison between you guys.
Chicago's problems aren't just injuries or chemistry, they're foundational. Preparation, leadership, identity. They're playing reactionary basketball. Indiana is playing championship basketball, and everyone in the league should be paying attention. This Fever team just walked into a hostile arena without their superstar and completely dismantled a division rival. That's the blueprint of a playoff threat. When Clark comes back, it's over. Because now, you can't just load up on her defensively. You've got to deal with a battle-tested crew that's proven they can win without her. That makes Indiana a nightmare matchup. Their system works, their players believe, and their front office has laid the foundation for something special.
This is why I say, Angel Reese, you need to stop trying to attach yourself to this girl at every turn, because you cannot measure up. You don't have as many followers you have on Instagram. That is great. I will not take away from the fact that you are one of the bigger brands in the WNBA. You are a star in your own right, but you are not Caitlin Clark. It's a difference. It's a difference from De'Aaron Fox being at the All-Star game and Steph Curry being there. It's a difference. I'm sorry, it just is. You need to stop trying to attach yourself to this girl at every turn, because she has officially come to your trap and taken over your trap. Look at all of the fans coming from all over.
Let's also spotlight how much this game benefited Indiana's younger core. They've gotten valuable reps under pressure. They've learned how to execute without their security blanket. That will pay off when the playoffs arrive. Kelsey Mitchell has emerged as a bona fide second option. She's a 3-level scorer with confidence and killer instinct. And Aaliyah Boston? She's blossoming into a two-way anchor who controls the game inside. The Fever's role players aren't just filling in, they're flourishing. They know their roles, they execute, and they elevate the team when called upon. That kind of depth is how you survive playoff wars. Because the road to a title isn't just about stars. It's about systems, adjustments, belief.
This is what you call real results. This is real life. Caitlin on a away game to somebody y'all think is on her level. She walks in and take over. And it's outstanding. I'm pretty sure it was more people there for Caitlin than it was for anybody on Chicago team. See, online, you would think that the person on the other side, the person on Chicago, could even come close to Caitlin. And when in reality, they can't.
Indiana's decision to push pace was tactical brilliance. They turned this into a track meet, something Chicago wasn't ready for. That's a coaching edge. Those decisions don't grab headlines, but they win games. That's how championship teams think. And it reflects a cultural transformation within the Fever. This isn't the team that used to collapse under pressure. This is a team that smells blood and pounces. And now, the final nail in the coffin. This fake rivalry? It's over. There was never a rivalry to begin with. Caitlin Clark is a one-woman empire. She created pandemonium in a city she wasn't even playing in. Fans showed up just to feel her presence. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, another perfectly timed mystery injury, she ducked the moment. Again.
I actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
She's better at everything.
And
she had a triple-double. She's tied for the third most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
Yeah.
She's just better.
Clark's reach is generational. She doesn't just show up. She shifts the atmosphere. She doesn't need to play a single minute to hijack a city's energy. That's real star power. And that's the difference. Reese is trying to hitch a ride on someone else's rocket, hoping for splash damage fame. But the gap is widening. The money, the attention, the moments, they're all gravitating to Clark, You can't fake greatness. You can't market your way into history. You've got to earn it. Clark is earning it every day, with or without lacing up. Reese? Still relying on controversy and cryptic tweets. This game was the exclamation point on a storyline that's run its course. So let's be crystal clear. The trap has been taken. The city belongs to Caitlin Clark. The rivalry? Dead? The torch? It was never yours to hold, Angel. Caitlin Clark didn't just embarrass Chicago, she ended the debate. And the Fever, even without her on the floor, proved why they're not just here to participate, they're here to dominate. If you're watching all this unfold and finally seeing the clear difference between manufactured hype and actual greatness, then comment, "I've got the Fever." Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.